Hi, and welcome back. I'm Anna Graham. I am one of the members of the Divorce Allies. I help our members more in the post-divorce transitions, either starting their business, launching that side hustle, honestly, anything so then they can just start cash flowing as soon as possible. In this video, I'm really excited because this is something that I've been trying to really refine my process for myself and my clients. And this whole concept of how can you take 1 hour of your time, of your creativity, and using AI, how can you make that 1 hour of really focused work into creating 1 month of content? So in this video, I kind of consider this almost like the part one, where I'm just going through more of the theory. And then I'm going to create more materials on my website, Anagram Creates, and create more videos in this series to really help you understand how you can just use 1 hour, 60 minutes to create a whole month of content. So let me just pull up my slides here and I will talk through everything. I know my slides are quite simple bullet points, but we'll just get into it. So, how can you actually create 1 month of content in just 1 hour? So, of course, you need to prep just a little bit. So, how I like to do these sessions, now I can do it a lot more efficiently on my own. When I first started, I really needed that accountability partner. That's what I always recommend to my clients and even our members in the Divorce Allies is find someone you trust, find someone who's good with the camera. Maybe it's a sister, a cousin, a coworker, a colleague from the past, anyone that can be supportive and give you like honest feedback. So you're going to find that person or find that time of your day, of your week, whatever it might look like. Before that hour, I'm going to need you to collect any type of questions around your product or service. I need you to think about your end client. I need you to think about what questions they might have for you, what answers you can give someone beforehand before they even ask it. I just start thinking about any type of topics. Let's say if we always use this example, someone who grows plants in their backyard to create holistic medicine. What type of questions might someone have about these medicines? Can everyone digest this? Is this for kids? Is this for adults? What about allergies? All of these things, I just want you to start brainstorming, whether that's on a piece of paper, maybe it's a Google Docs, a Word document, maybe it's just a notes in your phone. Brain dump anything. It could just be bullet points, questions, and even talking about your own process of how you work with clients, the process to make some of the medicine, really anything you can think of, just write it down. And then from just like your big brain dump notes page, then you can kind of start sifting through maybe like a focus of 4 topics. And then you can kind of like start making, I always do mind maps because I'm a very visual person. So I kind of like to then like, okay, group some of these into bigger buckets. So that's more of just like your preparation. So when you come to that 1 hour, you have an idea of really what you want to start talking about. Also, before that 1 hour, just make sure you have something to record yourself. So, again, I do everything on video in the beginning because video is very helpful. But if you're not there yet, I would recommend still just have your phone or an iPad, something that has an app that can record you talking into it. So, the two things before you get to that hour, I want a lot of ideas and a structure of what you're going to talk about and something to capture either video or audio of this hour. And if you bring a person, have that person as well. Okay, so now let's put in your mind, you're there, you're ready for that 1 hour. How do you even start? Easy. You just talk. You click record or you click start or any of that, and you just start talking. This is why it's helpful to have someone else in the room with you because then you can like put your device down and just have a conversation and like get out your notepad and say, okay, so these were the top 3 questions that I wanted to address today. Let's see. Number 1 question was, are people allergic to oregano? I don't know. I'm just making this up. And then you're just going to talk through it. And if that person that you brought with you has questions, let them ask them. Or if even when you are talking by yourself and you want to clarify something or add an additional detail, do it. Anything that will express how you normally talk, use the words you would normally use your tone. This final or this initial recording, most of the times when you're just getting started, will not be used in the clip to be put on Instagram. Of course, once you get more used to this type of stuff, absolutely it can be repurposed for the video. But in the beginning, I just want you to get your mind out into words. And I will explain in a little bit why it's so important to just keep rambling. And in the beginning, again, like you can do 20 to 30 minutes of just the rambling. If it turns into the full 60 minutes, that's great. I kind of like to do so it's like 20 to 30 minutes of Q&As, maybe 20 minutes of some client stories. Those are really good, like a case study format. So my client experienced this issue. This is how we worked through it. This was the solution I offered, and this was the result. And those kind of take a while to talk through the full story. And then even at the last 60-ish minutes, if you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, I always suggest to take like 10 minutes at the end and just try recording yourself on video. Take out your phone, the camera app on your phone, and go through some of the other things that you had already talked about that day. So in that 60 minutes, you really can cover so much. And I think it sounds like a short amount of time, considering I'm telling you that you're going to make a whole month's content out of it. But truly, that hour is a long time once you start getting out stories, questions, processes, tips, all of the things. And so then when you're finished with that 60 minutes and you've recorded the whole thing, you will have this beautiful, long transcript. And again, why I'm saying to just ramble and get out everything you want to say is because the transcript will imitate your tone. And I've mentioned in a lot of past videos, and I'll say it again here, when we're working with AI, we really want AI to pick up on your cadence, your tone, your style, because when we're creating this content, we want to make it sound as authentic as possible. So again, this is why I really like just be yourself on these recordings. If you cuss, cuss. I mean, it's okay. Like you can edit that back out when you're going through final social media posts, of course, but it's a good way for AI to understand how you speak and what your style is. Okay, so then this is the fun part. This is quite literally my job. So then when you take that full transcript, you can so if you're working directly with your iPhone, and I don't have my phone next to me right now, but within your iPhone, there is automatically a voice memos app. So you can just talk directly into the voice memos, and then there's even an option instantly after to copy the transcript. So you can do it that way. I recommend doing it directly on iPhone if you're out and about, if you're on a walk, if you're in the car, if you're in really any situation. And then the other option is to have ChatGPT directly as an app on your phone, and then you can transcribe directly into ChatGPT. The potential issue with ChatGPT is that it relies on data and service. So if you're talking for 20 minutes and then all of a sudden you lose service or your Wi-Fi disconnects or something like that, you could potentially lose all of that data. So that's why I recommend if it's going to be something quick, like a 2-minute situation on ChatGPT, great, do it there. But if this is going to be for a whole hour long, I recommend doing it on iPhone, voice memos, and even just to be really, really safe, chunk it into those 20 to 30-minute segments. So just in case something gets lost, it's not the whole 60 minutes. But anyways, so then like I was saying, if you're in iPhone or if you decided to record it on Zoom or Google Meet or anything like that, you will be able to download the transcript or use some type of transcription service to take the audio file and make it into text. So then once you have your full transcription in a text file, that is where you're literally going to head over to AI. I use ChatGPT, that's my preference, but there's also things like Gemini, Perplexity, and Claude, a few other ones that I know a lot of people are using. And you're going to start a new project. And you're going to directly put this whole transcript into ChatGPT, and you're going to say, I need you to analyze my tone, my style, my cadence. I need you to understand that I'm inserting this transcript to create social media for my personal brand. So you can initially do that, and then it's going to probably prompt you so many other things like, do you want to create blah, 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 blah? And do you want to create? You can absolutely explore, but part of this whole series is that I'm going to have copy and paste prompts that you can just literally copy and paste with your transcript, and then it will create exactly what it should. But if you want to play around with it, by all means, go ahead. And so I always recommend with starting kind of with a base template and then growing it. So once you put your transcript into ChatGPT or AI and you initially kind of have it understand what your tone is, then I want you to ask it for just a sample week. Because before we get into the whole month, I just want to start with week 1 to make sure I understand that it's understanding my tone, to make sure I like the format of things, to make sure that like this makes sense and you're not having to do edits on 4 weeks. You're just making a really solid week 1, and then you will duplicate that. So usually in 1 week of content, this is how I'm typically doing it. It's like 1 blog for my website, 2 LinkedIn posts, 3 Instagram posts, and Instagram and Facebook are the same. And then you can also create some scripts for reels or videos that you can also use for social media. So that is essentially what like a nice week of content looks like. You can always scale it back. You can do 1 LinkedIn post a week, 2 Instagram posts a week, and one of which being a scripted video reel. So it's really as much or as little as you want it to be in the beginning. And then again, you're just going to tell it that you want these things. So a blog, LinkedIn post, Instagram post, and scripts. Then it's going to populate everything for you, like instantly. And then you're going to see it all laid out. So that's going to be all of the copy for your social media there. The next step would be to kind of go through, read through it. Maybe in some aspects you want it to build out a little bit more. Maybe you're asking it to refine the style a little bit. Maybe you talk a little bit more informal, but you know your audience is more formal, so you're asking it to change its tone. All of these things you're going to like go through, draft a few versions until you get that first solid week's content that you really, really like. Then what you would do is that you would say, this outline that you just created, maybe it's the 4th draft, maybe it's the 1st draft, who knows? This is exactly the tone, the cadence, the style that I'm looking for. Now, using the transcript that I already put in, please create 3 more weeks of this, but using different topics. So again, it will go through your transcript. Maybe week 1 was all about your onboarding process with clients. Again, just kind of making these up as I go. Maybe week 2, it'll pull from the transcript, and you can tell it like, I want week 2 to be more about, if I'm doing oregano again, about the benefits of oregano. And then week 3 maybe is all about me. Week 4 would be the number 1 question I get from clients. Then it's just going to pull everything from the memory of the transcript. It's going to pull a lot of times to just help refine some of these answers, like outside. If it's missing pieces, it'll pull from outside knowledge that it has. But it really tries to stay within the transcript as long as you give it those boundaries. Then from there, you have your 4 weeks content. So again, let's just kind of recap. So with the transcript, you've plugged it into AI, you've given it the parameters of what to follow, you've refined your tone and style, maybe you've had to give it some other, because AI will ask some things as you go and you can answer them, you can clarify things, you can add anything you need to make it really how you want the final draft to look like. And then you would go and you would actually have to create a lot of that content. So for LinkedIn, the text post is fine. You can simply copy and paste. For the Instagram Canva or the Instagram carousels, you would probably have to go into Canva and create some of those carousels. If it's giving you scripts for videos, you would then have to record that video yourself. But all of those I've either made workshops about or I will make workshops about. And that's really like what my job is helping my clients take their final 4 weeks of AI generated content they use from a transcript. And then my job is really to refine it into actual content that you'd be pushing out. So that's kind of like the gap in this. But to even start and even to get like a hefty way there, to have 4 weeks of content is incredible from 1 hour. So then what you would kind of do is that you would, like this is just repeating, that you would repeat the process for weeks 2, 3, and 4. Then this is really where your batch content creation comes into place. So batch just means you're making a lot at the same time. So even you could go into like weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8. It really depends on the content that you had transcribed. And then you would go and create all that content. Then you would go into scheduling. So at that point, in theory, you could take like 4 weeks, 5 weeks of content that you went and created, again, offline. So on Canva, on video reels, then you would just go and schedule all of that content. And boom, you could be done for a full month or even 2 months. So to just kind of like go over this whole process again, what I mean by creating 1 month of content in 1 hour means you have all the scripts, you have all like the physical copy of the content. Then you would just have to go and actually like create some of the nicer looking things. So it's a little, and I'm saying this from complete honesty, to actually then create the videos and create the carousels and then create, if you're doing any like type of B-roll footage, that's going to take some extra time. But that's also where you could then hire someone like me who's just doing that creation for you, where you're coming in already with 4 weeks of outlined content with the copy, with the correct tone. And then you're just paying someone to do the actual physical creation of it. So I know this is so much to take in. It's a lot, but I think anyone can do this, especially if you are someone who's just starting your personal brand, just starting that side hustle. This will help you it'll help you down the line so much faster than any other type of content creation strategy. This is the cheapest way to do it, because even if you're doing it yourself, then it's essentially free. Or if you're even hiring someone and you're showing up to the first meeting saying, I already have all the content, you just need to create it. I mean, that would save you so much time and money in general. So again, this is just ease. This is the way of the future. Utilize AI for your benefit. Make AI efficient. Make it your best assistant ever. And even within AI, it can help create those carousels and some things for you. So you just have to go and kind of explore the different apps within AI. But again, this was really just supposed to be part 1. This is the theory behind it. I will go back in and I will create more tutorials about actually showing you the process of all of this, showing you how to create using Canva, using templates in Canva, and even maybe some like B-roll ideas and how you can kickstart that side of content creation. Well, as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me at Anna at Anagram Creates. So it's ANNA at ANAAGRAM Creates. And if you're interested in the Divorce Allies, we are a holistic divorce community. We offer divorce support really at any point of divorce. So whether you're thinking about it, you're deep in the trenches of divorce, or even coming out of divorce and you're looking for some support, getting out there dating, starting a side hustle, launching your business. So really anything you need, if you're a woman just questioning what do I do next with my life, reach out. We'd be happy to help. All right, everyone. See you next week.